All right. Good day, everyone. Welcome to this section once again. It's still your humble Professor Reasonable, and we are still looking at the topic. A woman's world is beyond beautiful. I remember in our previous discussions, we did talk about why we say, there is there is greatness, wonderfulness in a woman that is beyond just the beauty of the woman. So if you are just seeing this clip now, or you're just seeing this page for the first time, we will encourage you to look at our Facebook page, A Woman's World is Beyond Beautiful, so that you can actually benefit from other discussions. And from previous discussions, we did say that we some of the blessings of these gifts that we say are deposited in the woman is what we call human resources, and we also said that for us to why we are having this discussion is that humans we are meant to apply ourselves to life, to external nature, you know and when we say we're applying ourselves to external nature, we're looking at the area of wealth creation. And we did say that if you notice, many advanced countries are now coming to Africa, or they have been in Africa looking for what? Resources. And I also said that the reason why Africa has actually been behind, why we have not really got it right, why it takes other people from other advanced countries to come and even tell us what we have on our own soil, what we have in our own waters, what we have in the air, in the African territories, is because we have not really done a lot in terms of self-discovery. That is, in terms of human resources. Now, which means that for an individual to be able to create wealth, you have to first of all understand the wealth that is deposited inside us, or inside the human being. So now let us just quickly do a little bit analogy. Now, just like when we talk about when we come to religion, we will say that this life is important because it is with this life we are meant to earn what to take us to the hereafter. Those of us who believe in heaven and the hellfire, or paradise and hellfire, which means that it is right in this world that we will walk the righteousness with which we earn what? The paradise by God's grace and His mercy. So you see that we are talking about using this immediate world now to work out the next one, or to end the next one. So this is how God have designed life throughout. That for us to be able to harness the gift of nature, the resources, what we call natural resources, whether it be mineral resources, all the resources inside the water, on land, in here, just think about it. You have to first of all understand the resources that are deposited inside you. If you don't understand yourself, you cannot you don't know yourself. How do we think that we'll be successful in creating? This is just the basic difference between us and most advanced countries. Now, and today, well, and while we're looking at what human resources means, we did say that some of the those resources we can say are deposited in the human beings include character. And we said it last time that in this section today, we're actually going to be looking at character. Why are we saying that character is one of the most basic and most important human resources? When it comes to wealth creation, most people always undermine character. Most people always how do I put it now? Neglect character. Most people don't even believe that character is important in wealth creation. So as we progress, we are going to see how character controls almost everything about human life, not just wealth creation. So we'll see that. Then another resources we did say is in the human being that is very important include knowledge, then talent, our temperaments, our behaviors, then our powers, orientation, the human vacuum, our potent energy, the egg of life of the human being, the emirate, just to mention but a few. Now, and of all this, as we progress, we are going to be seeing how important character is when it comes to our abilities, when it comes to the talents that we have. In fact, that the basic building block of every talent is actually character. You see, so and when we talk about skills that we possess, because talent or skills that we possess is actually plus knowledge is actually what aids us to be able to perform. Then we can also talk about body potent energy. You see why we are talking about all this. These are the human resources deposited in the human being that enables the human being to actually perform. That enable the human, because when we talk about success in life, in any in all ramifications, we are talking about performance. So now these things, the resources that enables us to perform, are what we are discussing now. That character is one is of the basic. If you are talking about your talent, you are talking about skills, you are talking about human powers, human potentials, even the human vacuum, the character controls it. So as we move on, we are going to see that. Now, this what we are saying so far, we are talking about wealth creation. Let's digress a bit so that we will now realize that character is not only important even in the area of wealth creation. To begin with, first, in the first place, for those of us who believe in religion, whether as Muslims or as Christians, which means we believe in God. Now, we all agree that there is one important thing that we have all come to this world for, and that is the issue of salvation. Yes, there is this saying that life is actually a mission. Man is a missionary, and the world is actually a passage. So, which means that as human beings, we are all travelers in this world, traveling across the world. This world is that's why some people will say this world is not our own. Yes, we are all strangers on this planet Earth. So, which means that we have another world which is going to be the permanent world that we believe that is not going to end. One day this one will eventually come to an end. And for us to transit to that world, we need the ticket of salvation. Now, but my findings have come to make me realize that in the first place, you cannot be talking about salvation without character. And there are certain things about we need to know about salvation. That when you are talking about salvation, you're actually talking about searching for God. This is what the journey of life is all about. We are here on earth. God is hidden from us. So you have to search for God. You have to know God even before you worship God. If you don't know God, how do you worship God? So now you now realize that we all know that before you can come close to God, before you can actually find God, it takes the resources, the human resources of character. As we progress, we will see that how can you come close to God? How can you even find God if you are not a sincere person? How can you find God if you are not a patient person? How can you find God if you are not a compassionate person? How can you find God if you are not a forgiving person? You don't forgive. You see? So you say that if you are not a disciplined person, how can you follow God? So you now realize that we cannot even be talking about salvation without character. Now, then another very important area where character, plays a key role in life is the institution of marriage. And we have talked about wealth creation, we have talked about salvation. Now, you now see that it's not just salvation, it's not just wealth creation. Now, we are talking about marriage. That in the first place, for a man to be able to contract marriage and use the marital institution to achieve the set goals, of life or the objectives for which God designed marriage, you must be somebody who is standard in character. So this is why you see when we were talking about when I was discussing the issue of divorce in some previous discussions, I did mention I talked a lot about the human character. For example, we all let us make some little examples again. That if you are not a compassionate person, whether a man or a woman, if you are not somebody who is reasonable, if you are not somebody who is disciplined, if you are not somebody who is strong-willed, if you are not somebody who is content, how can you really succeed in marriage? You see, all these things we have mentioned are all character. So when we come to the types of character and so on, we'll be seeing, when we're talking about character, what we actually mean. Now, we talked about wealth creation, marriage, salvation. Then, even the issue of judgment. We all know that judgment is a system that creates balance, justice, peace, security, equity, and fairness in every society. So you now realize that if you don't have a reasonable system of judgment or justice in any society, definitely there will be problem. Now, let us now see, you now realize that, which means that if there is no peace in society, if there's no justice in society, if there's no security in society, then look back at the people of that society. You will realize that there is problem with their character. It's a basic phenomenon. So we see how character plays a key important role in our lives, day-to-day activities, the success we are hoping we want to achieve in all ramifications. And here the funny thing is that, especially in Nigeria and in Africa, in today's generation, because I grew up to understand how our fathers of previous generations paid so much attention to the issue of character. So this is why you see they got it right. Though they never went to school, they were not educated, but they understood what character really means, how important character is to life. In fact, as far as I'm concerned, character is the pivot upon which life is sustained. Tell me, who is that man that can actually reach greater heights and sustain it without crashing if he doesn't have character? This is the fact. Yes, somebody will want to argue with me. My friend, what are you talking about? They will see some persons who want to say, okay, the billionaires of this world, how many of them are character, how many of them are standard in character and so on and so forth. But you will also agree with me. Go to history and find out. It is not just ultimate success is not to make wealth, or to make money. What is the legacy some persons leave behind? It's just a matter of time. Your character will definitely define you. Yes, character is our basic definition. Your character will definitely whether you are rich, you are poor, or whatsoever. You are intelligent, you are a fool. You are not intelligent whatsoever. Your character will definitely define you. Eventually, people will come to know who you really are. So this is what we are talking about. That even the system of judgment is all based on character. Now, this is why you see, if we have people of questionable character manning the institutions of judgment, or the justice institution, then you know that justice is up for sale. And definitely, what happens in such society, we know how much we are grappling with the issue of justice for sale in a society like the Nigerian society today. That is why we don't have peace. That is why we are not getting it right on so many fronts. Now, let us go to another aspect of life, which has to do with leadership or government. And will anybody tell me, or can anybody ever be able to prove it, that we know that leadership is all about direction, it's all about fulfillment of a people's, nation's collective destiny and purpose. This is what leadership is all about. That one person is appointed to guide and direct every other person who has individual purpose or purposes in life or destiny in life, and eventually, you see, that leader should be able to guide everybody to a common purpose and a common destiny. Which means that if by omission or commission, that a people happens to have a leader of questionable character in position, definitely what it means is that such a leader can ruin an entire nation of a people. So this is why you see when it comes to the issue of leadership, people take it very, very seriously. Advanced countries who understand what leadership is all about, who understand what government is all about, don't play with the issue of character. This has really, especially when it comes to leadership, it is not about religion. Yes, it's not about whether you are a Muslim, you are a Christian, you are a Buddhist, or you are an Hindu or whatsoever. Somebody can be a Buddhist. Somebody can be someone who practice, Hinduism. Somebody can be a Jew. Somebody can be a Christian. Somebody can be a Muslim, and you find out that person has very standard character. Yes, it's all about personal strife in life. And yet you find somebody who probably, let's say, a Christian or even a Muslim as well, and yet those do not have standard character. So this is why you see sometimes there are some persons who ask this question: why is it that, like today, we see how successful China is becoming or has become? How much they have grown in terms of technology. In fact, they have advanced, on so many fronts. Now, some persons who want to say Nigeria, for example, is a Christian or both Christian and Muslim nation. We all say we are Muslims and Christians. Then a country like China, we say practice idolism, or they worship through idols. Now, some of us make the mistake of believing that because somebody probably is an idol worshiper means that the person will not succeed in life. This is a very, very big mistake. And you say you are a Muslim, and yet you are hypocritic in your practice in your life. You are not sincere. You are not committed. You are not committed. You cannot be committed. You are not reasonable. You are not a patient individual. And you think that you should, just because you are a Muslim or you are a Christian, you should succeed, while the person who probably is a Buddhist or an Hindu should not succeed. No, that is not how it works in life. It takes God tied success to character, just like we're talking about salvation. Yes, but even if you are born in Islam, you are born in Christianity, if you do not pursue the activation of your standard character, if you don't take it seriously to tame yourself, to continue to strive towards being a better person in life by acquiring standard characters, positive standard characters, honestly, you will lose it on so many fronts. So this is just explain. This is why you see when you go to China, most of us will agree they are law abiding, they are sincere, they are reasonable people, patient people. When you come to Nigeria, you see how impatient we have become today. Young people don't believe in working for money. Everybody want to get it quick. Everybody want to get rich quick. To the extent that today people are using people. We can imagine the scale of human rituals just because people want to make money. Is this how China did it? Is this how Indians are doing it? So, first of all, if we must get it right, we have, even in terms of leadership, in terms of government, we cannot escape character. This is just, our leaders must be sincere people. Our leaders must be patient people. Our leaders must be sophisticated thinkers. Yes, you cannot be a shallow thinker. You cannot be a superficial thinker and you say, as a leader, and you say you want to be creative. It's not possible. Creativity does not engage shallow thinking. It comes with very high standard logical thinking. Now, another system or another thing that we cannot avoid when we talk about, we cannot avoid talking about character, is even the issue of destiny. You know, sometimes you see a lot of people say, I want to understand my destiny, I want to know what my destiny in life is, I want to know what my purpose in life is. Now, and the first thing is that these persons are not even asking first, what are my characters? Who am I? It is when you have answered the question of what character are you currently possessing, what character should you possess, that will now lead you to the answer of the question, what your destiny is, what your purpose is. Because even if you know what your destiny is, or you know what your purpose in life is, it still requires, character to be able to achieve it. As we move on, we will get to, understand all that. Then another thing that, you cannot avoid when you are talking about it, you must talk about character, is the issue of the power of vision or wisdom. Now, we just like we said earlier on, that life is a mission and man is a missionary, or a traveler. This means that if man is a missionary or life is a mission, then you must have your vision. If you have no vision in life, just now let us look at it this way. Have you ever, forgive me, I'm not trying to make jest here, but let's just use it as an example. Now, have you ever seen a blind man that is walking all by himself? God speaks to us through everything in life. Now, if you've ever seen a blind man walking all by himself, you see how the direction they go in life. You see how they'll just be, scampering, and it's they can be heading, they feel they are heading, forward, and they wouldn't even know they have just turned back and they are heading the other direction. This is what the power of this is the implication of the power of vision. Now, when we talk about the power of vision in the last presentation, we did say that it's not just the ordinary sight that we are seeing. It comes from what we call the wow mind. That is the window of wisdom. That if you must cultivate your power of vision, then you must be able to attract divine wisdom. Now, tell me, when we are talking about divine wisdom, we all know that divine wisdom is not is separable from standard character. Yes, because you cannot attract divine wisdom without being a sincere person, without being a patient person, without being a reasonable and a strong thinker. You cannot have the power of vision without being a disciplined person, without being a chaste person. Yes, you must be disciplined and you must mind yourself. You cannot just be somebody who does things anyhow, go anyhow, and feel you want to cultivate the power of vision. And if you must be able to acquire, achieve your mission on earth, your power of vision is very important. To mention if just but a few, these are some of the areas in life. Now, tell me, if you have been able to create wealth, if you've been able to sustain your marriage, you've got salvation, you've got leadership right, you've got the system of judgment is right, your destiny is you've got your destiny right. Now, your power of vision is intact, and all these things we are talking about are hinged or pivoted on character. What success else are you looking for in life? So, do we now see that the ultimate success in life, even in terms of wealth creation, is dependent on character? And yet, in Nigeria, in Africa, we toil with the issues of character. Today, we when you tell somebody, when you talk to some people, to a lot of people, especially among us, the youth, about the importance of character, they will just tell you, "Oh, who character help? I better leave that thing. You are talking about sincerity, man, guy, leave that thing. Who sincerity help?" Now, and yet this youth, we want to make wealth, we want to be wealthy, we want to be successful in life, and the very primary and most basic requirement for that success, or for that wealth creation, we neglect it. You see, we are just like the blind who wants to go in a particular direction and is headed the other way. So this is just a simple analysis. Now, to further buttress how important human character is in life. Now let us use all these big organizations and standard companies as example. You will agree with me that one of the most important department in most standard companies is the department of HR. You see, it is not a mistake that that department is given that name, human resource department. For any reasonable company that wants to succeed in the game of business, the truth is that that company must have a functioning and well-established human resource department. And now, when we talk about human resource department, what does this department do? In a quick one, there are five basic functions of every human resource department, and one of it is talent management. I remember we did say that when you are talking about talent and skill, you are simply talking about character. As we move on, we are going to see when we are talking about character activation, character combination, character switch, and so on and so forth. You see how character combines during their activation to form even talent and skills. So that some of us will understand that when you say, I have these skills, I don't have these skills, the truth is that as a human being, you can actually possess any talent or skill. All you just need to understand is how to activate your characters and how to combine your characters into a particular skill that you want. Any type of skill that you want or talent that you want. Now, that aside, we're talking about the human resource department. Now the human resource department, all basically that the human resource department does is to manage the talents of the employees. And you'll agree with me that the most valuable asset of any company is actually the employees, the human being themselves. You remember in my last presentation, I did say that the most important resources on planet Earth is the human mind. That is the human part of the human resources. So you see that when we are talking about human resources, it is very, very key in terms of all kinds of success or successes in life. So now another thing that the human resource department, one of the function they carry out in any organization is training and development. Now, as the employees, as human beings, the employees all have talents. Then the human resource department must make sure that this talent is enhanced and developed. Remember the last time we were also talking about human capital development. Now, I didn't make the mention of the fact that any government or any nation that do not actually pay attention to human capital development is a joke. In fact, that nation or that people or that government is actually a joke. This is why you see that in Africa, we have a lot of challenge because most of our governments or our leaders do not pay attention to human capital development. Most of our leaders neglect their citizens. They don't take it serious. They don't believe in human talents. But not knowing that for any nation to succeed, we are talking about China today, we are talking about America today, we are talking about Great Britain today, and many other advanced countries. It's all about human talent. Those nations, the height to which they have reached and are kept is pivoted and supported upon human talent. And we did say what that human talent is basically combination of character. So this is why you see then among other functions that human resource department carry out is safety and compliance, then recruiting and staffing in the organization. The human resource department is responsible for recruitment. Now, during recruitment of staffs, what are the human resource, officials looking at when you are being interviewed? Just beyond your CV. Yes, you have gone to school. You say you have acquired certificate. You are a doctorate degree holder. You are a master's degree holder. You are a first degree holder, and so on and so forth. Now you still have, even with your certificate, don't you see most times or wonder why do you still have to undergo interview? During your interview, as during that brief discussion or some of the tests that you may be put through, they are actually looking into your mind, into your talent, into your character. Basically, this is what the human resource officials are looking at. Most of us don't know. I'm preparing for interview. I have a job interview today. I want to go for the interview. You know, some of us leave the house already failed before we have got to the interview center. This is the truth. Because a lot of us just believe, oh, I have a wonderful result. I'm a first class graduate. So what else are they going to be asking me? but we don't really understand that when you are talking about performance in any organization, it is not your certificate that is going to do the job. It is not certificate that is going to do the work or the performance. It is you, basic. So you have to be examined to see that your talent, your skills, your character match with the result or the certificate that you are putting forth. So, which means when you go to an interview and submit a certificate or your CV for cross examination, what they're actually examining is your character. They want to match your character, test your character, your abilities, your skills with what you have, because it is even your skills, your talent that have produced the certificate in the first place. So this is why then another function they carry out is the area of compensations and creating appropriate benefits for the employees of the companies. So you now realize that this is why you see, if companies must not joke with the issue of human resource. And we break it down basically to the issue of character. That every aspect of the human resource or resources is controlled by character. As we move on, we even see how character controls knowledge. Yes, the knowledge you acquire is acquired upon character. Knowledge just doesn't just come into the human being and just sit empty like that. Knowledge is acquired upon character. This is why you see that sometimes you may know a particular thing and you will not be able to produce give the desired results. Yes, because you lack the requisite character to actually produce such results. It's not just knowing that is important in life. So you see, the issue of character can never be overemphasized. So this is why if companies don't joke with the issue of character and talent and skills, then why should a people or a nation joke with the issue of character? So this is why you see, if we must get it right in Nigeria, in Africa, we must go back to the basics. This is why I'm using the woman, a woman's word. This topic, a woman's word is beyond beautiful. That there is something in us, in the woman, that is beyond just her physical beauty. This is the long hair, the fine face, the big bum or whatsoever, that those things are actually deposited within the human being. You don't see it on the surface. Just like you and I know that if you want to scout for gold, you cannot find gold on the surface of the earth. No, you have to dig and toil for it. You don't even find gold in just around like that. Gold is deposited in special places. Most valuable minerals are deposited in special places. So this is how the real content of the human being that is responsible for success in life, just like other natural resources, are not deposited on our outer surface, like the big bum or the big chest, or those things that we take as the most valuable things are not actually the most valuable. This is why you see the real valuable things are inside us: the character, the talent, our skills, our potentials, potent energy, and all that are in us. So you see, if we must be talking about being a serious people being a serious nation as Nigeria, we must take, character importance. We must go back to the basis. This is why I'm using the woman to buttress this fact that most of us treat a lot of issues in life just like we treat women. Today, because of the way we have missed it, we have misconstrued a lot of things. We see women just as rags and tissues used and dumped. We don't take even the whole human being God have created as a woman. We don't take them serious anymore. We just treat them anyhow as if it is that casual. They are that casual. They are that unimportant in life. When you see a people behaving like that, you know that such people have missed it. Because if you really understand that the woman is not all about her sexuality, what is outside and so on, then you will pay serious attention to her. You will give her the actual respect that she deserves. You will treat her, with the honor that God has actually given the women. So this is why you see, you cannot be talking about nation building, character building without talking about the women. God knew why He gave us the women in the first place. Remember, I said that the women are our mirror. They actually help us to examine ourselves. This is the truth. This is why I also made the statement last time that there is no man who can consider himself wise except that he respects women, except that he place a high value on women. You see that women counts a whole lot, are responsible for a very huge percentage of our success in life. The way you see the woman, the how much value you place on a woman will determine how much value you place on life, on life as a human being, as a man. And also, the how much value you place on a woman will determine how far you will go in life. Some persons may not understand this, and I may not have the time to really explain this. But some person will take this as, what is this man saying? That how much value you place on the women will determine how far you will go in life. It's a casual. It may sound like a casual statement, but there's great wisdom in that. So you can if you use the woman as a basis for analysis, you will understand that there is great wisdom in the women that God has given us. So by the time we are able to tap into this wisdom, your what I call the wow mind, your window of wisdom mind, that is actually the power of vision will open. You begin to see life from a different, clear perspective. So now, as we go on, we'll begin to look at character more. Let us now examine what character really means in actual sense. So thank you for watching, and please follow us, so that you can also benefit from the next session where we'll actually be talking about character. Thank you.